Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Alex Bradley from Anything Geeky Reviewed, and today I'll be bringing you the third episode to our game ideas. Today's topic, sort of thing, is going to be failure. I think with the recent success of games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, I think it was Dark Souls was the original, and then you had Demon Souls, and obviously the second one has just come out. I think it was last month. We've had quite a lot of success with those sorts of games that have brought back great difficulty, and people have enjoyed that. And one of the things I quite like about the game itself, that's just my dog, is the fact that failure is not the end. When you die, you have to come back as a spirit. You have to kind of get the souls you've gathered up, which I think in the first two were the current, so I'm not quite sure about the second one. And you had to kind of redo a lot of the things you'd had to do. So it taught you that every time you failed, you had to have a lot more work involved, and so it was kind of a mixed blessing. What I'd like to see in more games is more failure. We've had a few RPGs in the past. I think Final Fantasy's done it a few times. Some of the kind of turn-based strategy games have done it. Mostly RPGs, by the looks of, from what I've played anyway. They've incorporated failure into the actual story. So often you'll fight a boss during the beginning of the game, and you'll think you can take him, but you can't. You get your ass whooped, and you kind of, in two frames of mind, part of you thinks, oh, maybe I could have done that slightly differently, and other frame of mind is obviously I was supposed to lose that. Now I'd like to see more of that, but not necessarily exactly the same. I'd like to see failure as not being seen as game over, which seems to be most games. You know, if you don't win, you don't do the best, or you don't do your objective, then obviously you failed the mission. You must retry and retry and retry. What I'd like to see is that to evolve slightly. I'd like to see quest systems where if you fail a part of the quest, it may not be the end of that quest, but later on during the game you might find another clue or another piece of the puzzle that leads you back onto the quest and gives you something else. Multiple ways to complete quests, where the failure in several different parts means that you can still complete them later on, or maybe it just fails completely. I'd like to see more of that in general than just if you fail, you fail and you have to keep redoing it, or you have to keep loading a save game. Such. I'd like to see a lot more of that, because I think that could evolve a lot of gaming. I mean, RPGs in particular, where it uses a quest system, I think you can have some quite interesting stories where you know, you're trying to rescue somebody, you fail to rescue them, or they die during the voyage. Instead of that quest immediately being marked down as a failure, you've got to now look for an alternate way to do it. Maybe you bring the dead body back and pretend they're alive. You know, I'm sure I've seen that in a couple of sitcoms before, and that would be quite a humorous way of doing it. But obviously you've got different ways, and I'd like to see kind of quests branch on. So a failure in one quest will often affect another quest in a different way, almost like Mass Effect, where the quests and storylines are linked much further than you think they are. I just think that would be a really cool idea. It will hopefully kind of make RPGs a little bit fresher, give kind of more ideas for quests, that sort of thing. Let me know what you guys think of that, and hopefully I'll be doing a few more videos soon. And yeah, like, share, subscribe if you want, and yeah, drop your own ideas down in the comments, and maybe we can talk about them and start spreading some game ideas around the gaming community. Peace out.